Hello, welcome to today's edition of Pegasus Test. On today's edition, we're covering Stage 1 of Finnish Brutality 2023, Kasarda Off-Road. This is the Team America edition. I had the luxury of going through the match in the two-day format on Saturday and Sunday, although I kind of messed myself up by doing breacher, so making it a lot harder. Matt here had a different experience because he did the RO match, so he did all 10 stages in one day. So we're going to give you a compare and contrast throughout this video series about how our experiences went and how our choices affected us. So what did you have to do in Kasarda Off-Road? Patria, the Finnish armored vehicle maker, was nice enough to donate one of their prototype APCs for the match. And you started out at the rear of the vehicle with the kettlebell. You had to dismount the vehicle and then move up to the first line at the beginning of the Kasarda drill, and there was telephone poles laid out as yardage markers, and they also had all kinds of debris spread about, and you had to negotiate your throws to get through there to have shooting positions that would allow you to see the target and also allow you to get distance on your throws. You got 15 seconds back for each one of the lines you managed to cross. When you got to the end, you unloaded, you took a bonus shot to clear your weapon, and then you had to hightail it all the way back to the Patria, get back on board, get up in through the turret, and make a shot from there.
Are you ready?
All right.
Ready.
So I just chose to angle myself at the door in the rear seat, facing where I wanted to go. Chuck that kettlebell out so I didn't have to worry about climbing down with it. Grabbed it and dashed up to the first shooting position. Now I love the layout of this. If you look, you've got a series of logs as your line markers, and you have black and white, yellow and black etched tape along the side. That is where the kettlebell has to stay. That is your field of limits. If it goes past those tape lines outside, you have to go back to where you threw from and do it again. So all this debris in the way, plus the logs, plus the tape, make for a very confined space. You can't just chuck it and let it roll, because as you see there, the yard marker stopped it from rolling right there, the big log. Later on, you're going to see I'm going to throw it. It's going to hit that log and bounce back. You're going to see where I throw, hit a tire, and it bounces almost out of bounds right there. And then you're going to see how these different pieces of debris, barrels, tires, and all that, when you go prone, affect your shooting position. You know, you had this really narrow lane that you could see the target from in the prone. This was just amazing. You really had to calculate your throws. You couldn't just chuck it as hard as you could and hope for the best. Again, those big logs, that changed everything. You always want to get a good roll on the Kasarda drill, but man, these things just worked against that. I still contend the Kasarda drill's about technique. If you notice, I just pick it up, yank it, and throw it. I don't waste any time on any wind-ups, pushes, or anything. For what few inches of distance you get from doing that, it does not compensate for the time it takes to do it. Now here, because it stopped going over the line, I had to just lift it that little bit. Also, there was a requirement to retain your mags in this match, so I did the old infantry way of stuffing it down your shirt, but that cost me time in having to get up to the knees to put it in, to then go back to the prone to get that shot. But you want to take a good brace shot. This was a high value. You know, there was a severe penalty attached to not making that shot. Then you had to dash back to the APC, but you had to stay in the debris field. And luckily I found one of the fairly clear lanes, but even then, you still weren't going full speed ahead for sure. Upon re-embarking the APC, he crawled up into the turret, and that proved to be a little problematic for me as my rig did not fit. So got the rifle up, dropped down to get my mag pouch open. Once I got it open, I was eventually able to get a magazine out, and that's where I discovered, oh, I've got a little of a stovepipe there, so cleared that.
Got a malfunction.
Then got a magazine in, charged the weapon, got aimed in, and time. Alright, Matt took a slightly different tack. He safely disembarked the vehicle, then reached back and grabbed the kettlebell. Then he moved up to the line. Now for Matt, this is his 6th stage of the day. He shot the RO match, so he didn't fire them in the order that I did. I did a lucky 1 through 10 pattern. He did a pattern of 6 through 10, then 1 through 5. And that was done so when they were done testing the RO stages, all the stages were set up for the main match the next day. So Matt's pretty gassed here. He's already done 5 stages, and the fatigue is beginning to show, and I can't blame him, because I'll tell you, if this was the 6th stage I'd done in a day, yeah, I'd be flagging pretty hard too. So this was tough stuff. And that's why we've done these series of videos you'll hopefully be watching here to give 2 points of view. Matt did the RO match, so he did it in armored TST all in one day. I did it in armored TST in the main match, which means I had 10 stages split over 2 days, but I also did breacher division, so I had to do all the breacher events between the stages. So in effect, we both, in a way, did the same thing, did a whole match a day. The telephone poles here are not to be underestimated. It would have changed the dynamic of the whole Kasarda drill, even without all the debris in the field. It really gave a new feel to the Kasarda drill. And also, as you're seeing these GoPro views come up, it shows just how the debris field laid out there is affecting what you see and where you line up on the target. There's only just a couple avenues through there which you could see the target you had to hit. So it really caused you to think about where you threw.
Yeah, there you go. Nice, good roll. Outstanding. Give me a hit and then get over the water. One more throw. Get it over. Get it over.
Very demoralizing there. Who knew kettlebells bounced?
And then lift it over. Watch your muzzle. Watch your muzzle. You're clear. You're clear. Easy now. Retain it. Shot. You got this, buddy. Nice hit. Perfect. Let's go. Grab that kettlebell. Let's get back to that APC. Come on. 10 time.
Matt, let's start with you since you shot the RO match and were the first to fire it. How'd that stage go for you?
It was all right. I had some troubles. It was my actually my 6th stage of the day, so I actually did the last 5 stages first, and this was my my first one. I'll say between technique on throwing with the kettlebell, I wasn't taking a step, and I was throwing it and just being kind of smoked at that point. My throws were a little bit short, but I was making my hits. Overall, you know, I got the high value target. I didn't get back to the vehicle, but in the end, score wise, it pretty much was similar to most people because it was a bonus shot. So I think I did overall. I could have done better, but I felt like I did pretty decently.
Yeah, it was a challenge. At first it just looked like a debris field, and you didn't think much of it until you made that first throw. And then you'd have things like, most times in the Kasarda drill, you hit that line marker for your bonus, and it rolls over. Well, here it was a telephone pole, so it would hit it when it would come back. Or in my case, I threw it one time and hit the tire and bounced to the side. And we have record of a competitor actually throwing it, hitting the tire and bouncing completely out of the field, and he had to restart. So it added a dynamic to the Kasarda drill that had not been seen before, and it really upped the challenge. The other place I found the challenge is after we made our clearing shot and we had to return to the Patria and stuff, it's like all this debris in your way. You can't just run. You have to look at where you're going, and that really cut down on the momentum.
Yeah, the debris really, to me, made a significant impact to the Kasarda drill. Something that you're used to is wide open space, ability to throw, kind of find a lane. This was you had to not only throw, but make your throw in a place that either A, didn't hit a tire and bounce out, B, didn't go behind something, and C, you had a place that you could then go prone and actually then make your hit. So it added a definite level of difficulty.
Yeah, the other self-imposed problem I added to myself was the gear I chose. I chose to do this in a patrol rig. fitting with kind of the military style, not only brutality but of SRI, and it didn't fit in the hatch.
Yeah.
That ended up being a big challenge for me because I got into the vehicle, got into the hatch, and it was like I cannot get my magazine out of the pouch, so had to drop down, get it out, come up, load, and then as soon as I aim in, the buzzer. So just one of those unexpected things that kills a lot of time. All right, in addition to being in the Armored Division, I was also in the Breacher Division. So Breacher Division was Armored Division, but with a whole bunch of extra tasks attached to it. Every stage you had to go to the Breacher Field of Glory after your stage and perform a task. This stage was Foxhole. Dig the biggest foxhole you can in 10 minutes. What they didn't tell you is they were going to give you a set of crappy shovels. Now, Ian and Yari lucked out. They got some good, solid shovels, and they had good results. I have a piece of junk Bundeswehr folding shovel here. The lock on its badge, as you can see, it's bending. So, like, if I'd wanted to put the shovel in a 90-degree angle, use it like picks. No, I couldn't. It was jammed. On the other hand, digging with it, it was floppy. Getting stuff out of the way was a challenge, to say the least. And I'm pretty sure I found almost every single submerged rock in Finland digging this hole. However, it was fun. This was great team building activity. Most of us on the Squad 1 team there had to do this because we had signed up for Armored and Breacher. And as you can see, we were all digging away, sharing in the misery.
By the time I'm done digging, the MRE will be broken loose and I'll be able to use this hole.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time! Please stay where you are, stand next to your foxhole, and wait for measurement. Good job. Yes. Please do not take a shit in it.
I don't know, that MRE. So I'm sticking with it.
This rock got me though. This
Winner.
well,
Yep.
maybe if you deadlifted it, it could have gone up. But hey, that's deep enough. That's my ball.
Radius.
Yeah, all I had was rocks there.
Yep.
And this piece.
Height 33. Excellent. Well, 10 minutes to dig a foxhole with a broken shovel. Couldn't quite work the way I wanted.
We hope you found this coverage of Finnish Brutality Stage 1 helpful and informative. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And tune in tomorrow because we got Stage 2 coming your way.